Tonight, Bight Petroleum denied a new permit to explore the Great Australian Bight, and the Whyalla Airport upgrade beginning to take shape.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening. A major win for the environment. That's a reaction from Port Lincoln fishers following the news exploration company Bight Petroleum will not be able to renew its permit in the Great Australian Bight. The national regulator rejecting the company's request to continue work in the area.
A tough blow for oil exploration, but a major win for some fishers.
So after 8 renewals and extensions, we finally have certainty that these permits are going to expire.
Bight Petroleum being refused a renewal of its exploration licence in the Great Australian Bight by the national regulator.
Bight Petroleum will not be able to complete their work, and I'm hoping that means they will end up leaving the tenements south of Port Lincoln.
Senator Rex Patrick says the company was given continuous licence extensions in the area, leaving local industries in uncertain waters.
NOPTA agreed that they would consider these issues in the next round of applications made by the companies.
And it seems they've listened, which could send a strong, clear message to other exploration companies.
You either have to get on with the work or you have to leave and allow others, such as the fishing industry, who want to invest that can't at the moment.
So this gives us a huge degree of certainty for planning fishing operations from here forward.
Seismic surveys were conducted as part of exploration. The process involves blasting the ocean floor with high-powered air guns to help map out offshore oil.
They have a massive impact on the fishing and fish behaviour within the year that the survey is being carried out, but also that impact lingers for several years.
NOPTA was contacted for comment. Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
An Adelaide-based architect firm is holding sessions in Broken Hill, seeking further feedback over the proposed CBD makeover. Some businesses questioning the cosmetic upgrades, while parking shortages and disabled access remain unresolved.
An ambitious plan to reinvigorate the CBD. High on the list, more green spaces and shade, as well as improved lighting and signage.
People are looking for better ways to move around the city and be more comfortable doing it.
Landscape architects from TCL, an Adelaide-based firm, visiting Broken Hill to hold more feedback sessions with locals.
There's really a fight for space. You know, people want shade in the streets, but they also want to address car parking.
Parking remains the #1 concern for Argent Street businesses, many saying that needs to be addressed before any cosmetic upgrades.
Even though they do have the 2-hour limits, not all the time it's used. Sometimes you see cars parked there for a lot longer.
They say there's not enough loading zones either, forcing trucks to park in taxi and bus ranks. But by changing the angle of parking by 15 degrees, up to 50 new spaces could be created.
It needs to be beneficial to everybody and not just look nice, it needs to work as well.
Disabled access also a concern for traders. This parking space has no ramp for wheelchairs or walking frames to get onto the footpath.
There'll be improved crossovers at intersections, shorter distances to cross the roads.
Intersection upgrades on the corner of Blend and Oxide Streets also began today as part of Council's Disability Inclusion Plan, with similar projects to follow. Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Broken Hill City Council has been caught up in Facebook's news ban. Their page this morning showing no posts, despite being available as recently as the weekend. A council spokesperson said they are aware of the issue and are reaching out to the company. Facebook has blocked access to Australian news content due to an ongoing dispute surrounding a bill which would require the social media giant to pay media companies for content. Construction at Whyalla's airport is well underway, with workers remodelling the facility ahead of the installation of new security screenings. Council says the project is running on track and will be ready for public use in August.
From this To this, the Whyalla Airport check-in and waiting bay completely gutted, making way for a brand new space.
Progress here at the Whyalla Airport is going really well. We're almost getting to the end of the civil construction stage, so as you can see there's lots of demolition that's taken place.
Council says the federal government is funding 90% of the project, bringing it up to new standards.
There's a federal requirement now for airports the size of Whyalla to undertake security screening, and that's really been the driver of a lot of this work.
In a statement, the member for Grey Ron Ramsey says the federal government has committed $2.45 million to this project, which includes an extension of the main runway and a new taxiway.
Federal requirements around security have only just come into effect about 18 months ago. So the Whyalla Council has been working closely with the federal government to undertake these works, to understand the reason why.
X-ray machines, body and baggage scanners will be installed, similar to the Adelaide Airport.
The project's on time, the guys have been doing a great job, and we're due for completion in August later this year.
Council also welcoming the possibility of more airlines travelling through Whyalla.
Business people are coming here, a lot of health service professionals and a lot of tourists as well. So we are looking forward to the airport being open.
Sophia Contagonis, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Still to come tonight, Broken Hill's SES unit to take on new responsibilities, and concerns raised about Air Peninsula's new rocket launching site. Welcome back. The State Emergency Service is adamant public safety won't be compromised after confirming the Menindee unit will soon be closing. It's now working on a plan to ensure residents still have timely emergency responses. Lachlan Itter has the details.
The SES says a lack of volunteers led to the decision to close down its Menindee operations. As the next closest unit, our volunteers in Broken Hill will be used to fill the void. While the small town of 500 people will be left without a local brigade, the SES says it will continue to have a presence in Menindee during flood and storm events. Those duties will now be handled by the nearest available crew, which in most cases will be Broken Hill. The service saying the community safety will always be the first priority, and it's assuring the community that the service will continue to respond using neighbouring units. The big unknown at this point in time is which emergency service will take over road crash rescues, those being incidents where people are trapped in their vehicles after a collision. An SES spokesperson telling 7 Spencer Gulf News the organisation has strong relationships with the RFS and other agencies, but a decision on who will take over that role won't be made until a meeting of the local rescue committee. It's not clear exactly when the Menindee unit will close or when its operations will be delegated to other emergency services.
Australian space company Southern Launch has outlined its conservation policy for the Whalers Way orbital launch site. The company says it believes it can work to the benefit of the environment, but some locals are not so sure.
Reaching for the stars, but at what cost?
This particular area is supposed to be protected under legislation.
A proposed rocket launch facility at Whalers Way is leaving some residents anxious, concerned the site could threaten endangered wildlife and vegetation.
We're concerned that the impact that they're going to have on the site is actually going to be a lot bigger than just the individual buildings and other infrastructure.
Southern Launch, who is behind the project, say the concerns couldn't be further from the truth.
We want to ensure the environment is not only protected, but it's improved for future generations.
The company says the facility will have a small footprint at Whalers Way, also helping document the area and natural wildlife.
No one's done that in the past. No one's gone and counted the birds and understood their habitat and provided that out for further research and the like.
We don't think we need to have a rocket launch facility to address the issues that might be happening in terms of, the number of visitors.
Conservationists are scratching their head as to why the site is even being considered, as it's under a heritage protection agreement.
I can't believe that this one spot is the only spot on the South Australian coastline where this development can be placed.
Southern Launch plans to release its environmental impact statement in the coming months.
We believe we have all the bases covered and hence why we're working closely with the government to ensure that all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed.
Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
York Peninsula Police are calling on the community to help locate a bike stolen from Wallaroos Holiday Park over the weekend. Between 10:15 and 11:30 on Saturday night, a Jamis Blue mountain bike was stolen from Pamir Court in the Caravan Park. Anyone with information is being urged to contact Crime Stoppers. Event organisers in Broken Hill are being encouraged to apply for funding under the newly announced Regional Events Acceleration Fund. The New South Wales Government committing $20 million to boost the struggling sector, hit hard by coronavirus restrictions and border closures. Just last month, AgFair confirmed it was postponing its event until 2022, blaming ever-changing restrictions. Applications are open to local councils, not-for-profit organisations, sporting bodies and Aboriginal land councils, and close at the end of the year. Stay with us. A Port Augusta primary school steps into the political world, and Port Pirie preparing to serve up a world-class tennis event. A year out from the state election, Stirling North Primary School students have had a taste of political life as their peers campaign to be ministers. The local MP also making a special appearance, helping to educate upcoming leaders.
From the classroom to the polling booths, students lining up to cast their votes for the next set of ministers at Stirling North Primary School.
This is something that I suppose the whole school can get involved with and learn the process of an election and having a say in people that they would like to be leaders for their school.
From real Electoral Commission ballot booths to scrutineers, even checking their eligibility to vote. The exercise helping teach students about democracy and leadership. These brave candidates in the running for a student leadership role in Aboriginal affairs, recycling, environment, transport, media and recreation.
Because I'm passionate about sports and helping people.
They campaigned for their positions through posters, school radio and public speaking. For some, it's their very first time talking to a large crowd.
It's kind of scary speaking in front of a lot of people, but it's fun.
Energy and Mining Minister Dan Van Holst Pelican also sharing his knowledge of the political world.
It's not always about trying to be the boss, work with other people. Even if you're not elected a minister, it doesn't really matter because you can still help out.
He says we could have some future leaders amongst us.
Any one of these students can blossom through an exercise like this, and I've got no doubt that some of them could easily go on to important leadership roles here in Port Augusta or beyond.
Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Whyala's Unearth Festival is almost upon us, with tickets for some of the performances now on sale. A group of local actors are first taking their scheduled show to the Adelaide Fringe Festival, giving 4 young actors an opportunity of a lifetime.
Discussing all the shows on offer during Whyala's upcoming Unearth Festival, event organiser and director Michael Hughes especially excited for her very own scripted show.
Currently rehearsing a show called Meltdown that we're touring to the Adelaide Fringe. So we have been rehearsing for about a month and a half now. We've got a really small cast of 5.
Michael, along with 4 young actors, have been spending the last couple of months rehearsing for the play.
We are going to Fringe and doing a 4-day-long season. We're doing 11 shows over 4 days.
Young actor Jasmine Stevens says she is ready for her big role.
Quite excited. I've never actually been to the Adelaide Fringe, so it's quite awesome that I get to go for this experience as an actual artist in it.
Also saying the opportunity is helping her fulfil her future dreams.
I'd love to be an actor, and I've been a part of some productions in Whyala.
The new play was written during the pandemic, stemming from conversations with young people around what they thought the end of the world would look like.
It's really about human relationships after the apocalypse.
Tickets for the film festival are now also on offer, as well as opening positions for the 60-second film competition. Sophia Contagonis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Over 100 aspiring tennis players will be flocking to Port Pirie next month to participate in a national junior ranking tournament. Organisers hope the event could produce the next generation of professional players.
The ball is in Port Pirie's court with the next generation of tennis players serving up a storm.
Players from all over the Mid-North and all over the state.
Taking place on March the 21st, it's the first event since 2019 after last year's was cancelled due to coronavirus. Organisers are ecstatic it's finally back.
It's a big coup for Port Pirie to have such a big event to come here, and there'll be lots of high quality tennis.
Professionals say there's been a fall in country kids taking up the sport. They're hoping the tournament will create a buzz.
There's still some really good high quality tennis players in the country. So big events like this create a bit of fear of missing out amongst the kids and get other children into the sport.
The event also providing a cash injection into the community with a focus on purchasing local.
Privileged to have Nearstar sign up as a sponsor, and they're going to be helping us fund a lot of the balls and the trophies and the referee for the day.
Kids between the ages of 18 to 16 can register online.
I'd get them to go to tennis.com.au to get in touch with their local club or local school.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. We'll check all the weekend sports scores. And Alex Sykes will have the latest weather details. Hello again. Time now to check out the weekend's local sporting results. And with the end of the summer season fast approaching, teams are turning their attention to finals. Katrina Musson has this week's wrap.
Summer sports like tennis and basketball are starting to wrap up around the region, with teams entering their final stages of the regular season. Starting with basketball and in Port Augusta, the Cobras defeated Titans, but it wasn't without a scare. In a close match, Cobras managed to scrape home by 5 points, while in the other match, the Wildcats were no match for Eagles, recording a 14-point win. Around the Gulf at Whyalla, and it was a close win for Wildcats, defeating the Braves by just 2 points. Roos leaping over Titans, smashing them by 30 points. While the Wildcats defeated the Demons by 7 points. In Port Lincoln basketball, and the Sharks and Rangers were unable to split after 4 quarters. The two teams giving it their all, with both finishing on 49 points apiece. The other match seeing another tight game between the Rangers and Souths. Souths sneaking home 21 points to 20. Now over to tennis, and the Southern Flinders Tennis Association held its last round of matches before finals kick off this week. In a close match, Morchard defeated Melrose. Port Germain were too strong for Laura. Pekina had a comfortable win over Peterborough, and Port Pirie edged out Warrabara, securing their position in the grand final. And finally, across the border to Broken Hill, another hard-fought night of tennis on Thursday saw serves continue their hot start to the competition, cruising to a 5-1 win over forehands. It was a tight match between backhands and drop shots picking up a win despite the efforts of skipper Nathan Crabb. And match 3 saw the top spins pick up their first win, beating volleys by 4-1. And that's all for sport from across the region. If you would like your team's results featured, please let us know through our Facebook page.
And with a look at what's happening in the weather across the Spencer Gulf and Broken Hill tomorrow, here's Alex Sykes with the details.
Thanks, John. Conditions were generally fine throughout the region today, with temperatures ranging mild to warm. From 3 p.m, Port Augusta reached a maximum of 25 degrees. It was 21 in Port Lincoln, and Woodner had a mostly fine day with a top of 24. Looking across the remainder of the region now, Cooper Pedy had today's top temperature of 27. Broken Hill was sunny and 22. Whyalla and Adelaide had 22 degrees also. It was mostly sunny and 24 in Port Pirie and and Kadina had partly cloudy conditions with a high of 21. On the satellite image, you can see patchy cloud pushing into southern parts of South Australia, with southerly winds only causing the odd light shower about the far southeast. High cloud over the far northwest is not causing any showers. Skies are generally clearer elsewhere under a building ridge of high pressure. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Winds will be south to southeasterly, increasing to 20 knots in the afternoon. Seas and swells will peak just above 1 metre. Mostly sunny conditions are expected across the region tomorrow. Port Lincoln will be mild with 22 degrees. Simil and Cleve with a high of 21 there. A bit warmer for Woodna with the mercury tipping 27 degrees. Whyalla will have some gusty winds later in the day, 24 degrees. Port Augusta mostly fine and 27 there. Kadina 25 the top. Port Pirie will have a maximum of 27 degrees, 23 in Clare, and Broken Hill will have clear skies and 25 degrees. Taking a look further through the region now, those mainly fine and mild conditions will carry through into Thursday. Sunny and 32 in Cooper Pedy, Port Augusta, Woodna and Port Pirie will all have tops of 27, 25 degrees for Whyalla and Kadina, 24 in Adelaide. More fine and mild weather on Friday, clear skies for Cooper Pedy and Broken Hill. Port Augusta and Woodna will reach 28 degrees, 27 in Port Pirie. Whyalla and Adelaide will be 25 degrees, 26 in Kadina, and a mostly sunny day for Port Lincoln with 22 the top. And it will be a lovely sunny and warm start to the weekend with clear skies for much of the region on Saturday. 30 degrees in Port Augusta, 29 for Broken Hill and Port Pirie. Whyalla and Kadina will reach 27 and a high of 25 in Adelaide. So John, as you can see, we'll have some mostly sunny and warm conditions ahead as we move to the end of the summer season. And that's all the weather from me for tonight. It's back to you.
Thanks, Alex. And that's the local news this Tuesday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later, and we will be back tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Until then, from the entire team, enjoy your evening. Good night.